Today, a news came from the battlefield that will drive Putin crazy. This news could end Putin's occupation. Putin thought that he would easily win the war, but thanks to the huge assistance of countries such as the United States and Turkey, the Ukrainian army continues to strike a blow at the Russian army. If we come to the news details, Ukraine made the best use of the US HIMARS missile systems and Turkey's Bayraktar drones and managed to repel the intensive attack of the Russian army on Soledar. We have informed you that a transport train carrying support ammunition and military personnel from Russia was hit by HIMARS missiles recently. The financial burden of these huge losses caused Russia to fall into an economic crisis, and taxes from the people were increased. The Russian people are taking action in front of the Kremlin to protest this crisis and the war. Putin continues his attacks without caring about the crisis and his own Russian people. In order to continue his invasion, Putin secretly set off merchant ships from the port at night. Putin, who increased the volume of trade with his ally Iran by 2 times, wanted to deliver his ships to Iran from the Aegean Sea. The shocking incident happened at this time. Putin, who wanted to decamp to the Aegean Sea between Turkey and Greece, was stopped in the Black Sea. Turkey and Greece are known as 2 enemy countries. The 2 countries, which have fought each other in recent history, have come decisively together against Putin. This alliance surprised the whole world. Greek and Turkish warships stopped Russian merchant ships departing from the port of in the Black Sea. In order to protect the Russian merchant ships, the accompanying Russian warships ordered the Turkish and Greek ships to withdraw. The naval forces of Turkey and Greece were put on emergency alert and did not allow their passage. When Putin heard about this incident, he went crazy and threatened. "Don't provoke us about our goal after Ukraine," he said. These words signaled that Putin will move towards Europe after Ukraine. The leader of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, answered very harshly. "You should talk to Putin knowing what Turkish armed unmanned aerial vehicles put you through in Ukraine. The Turks are always ready for war," he said. Erdogan stated the reasons for stopping the merchant ship. He stated that Russian merchant ships secretly transported Iranian combat drones to Russia. "That's why it has the character of a warship, not a merchant ship. We cannot allow these qualified warships to pass through our country's borders," he said. War analysts note that the Russian military has become needy and dependent on Iranian drones. The Russian military stated that without Iranian drones, which it actively uses in its invasion, Putin's intelligence and operational power would be seriously weakened. Russia and Turkey, known as allies, came face-to-face with this incident. As a result of the threats, European countries began to experience the anxiety of the World War. NATO held an emergency meeting and warned Russia. Erdogan is increasing his support for Ukraine and increasing his dominance in the Black Sea. Turkey held its largest naval forces exercise last year. Erdogan, who defended the maritime sovereignty on the border of the country he called the Blue Homeland, told Putin not to approach the Turkish border, 230 kilometers, that this was a reason for war. After this incident, Russia had to withdraw some port cities in the Crimea and Ukraine. Political commentators note that the probability of Turkey joining the war is increasing every day. It is thought that Erdogan, whose support is also decreasing by the people in Turkey, can do this in order to become a hero. After these tensions, US President Biden made a statement and offered his support, saying that Turkey and Greece were right. It seems that Russian leader Putin has also lost his geographical and political ally Turkey. Continuing to get lonely, Putin will continue his angry and aggressive attitude and announce the new mobilization decision soon. It was announced by Defense Minister Shoigu. It is expected that Russian President Vladimir Putin will announce a new mobilization due to the growing military losses in the ongoing war. According to Ukrainian intelligence, Russia is trying to build a 2 million strong army. Ukrainian intelligence announced that mobilization installations, including legislative amendments and the preparations of training centers, are continuing to work in Russia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has addressed the Lithuanian parliament and said that they are on a path to victory. Zelensky noted that Lithuania remains one of the most sincere defenders of freedom and has always stood by Ukraine. Unlike Russia, which has become in need of Iranian drones, Ukraine receives support from Turkey for drone production. The State Defense Company of Ukraine has completed the test of a long-range unmanned aerial vehicle. Natalia said, A spokeswoman for Ukreinomobronprom said that they have completed the tests of a project to develop an unmanned aerial vehicle with a range of more than 1,000 kilometers and a carrying capacity of up to 75 kilograms. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz expressed that they will not rush to make a decision on supplying tanks to Ukraine. Since the beginning of Russia's all-out invasion in February 2022, Scholz has been criticized for delaying and blocking the supply of weapons to Ukraine. Amid pressure from the media, the public and NATO allies, Germany has increased the supply of weapons to Ukraine, but Scholz is still accused of being reluctant to antagonize Russian President Vladimir Putin. According to international media, Germany will make the final decision on the delivery of Leopard tanks to Ukraine next week. According to unnamed German officials, Berlin will make a decision before the Ramstein Defense Summit on January 20th. A day before the meeting, German Defense Minister Christine Lambrecht will meet the United States Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. On the other hand, Germany announced that it had not received a request for Leopard tanks from Poland and Finland. Polish President Andrzej Duda announced the delivery of a company of modern German-made Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. Since the tanks are manufactured in Germany, their export requires the approval of the German government. France, on the other hand, will deliver light-wheeled tanks to Ukraine within 2 months. The defense ministers of Ukraine and France discussed the organization of rapid training for Ukrainians to use tanks. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Kuleba and United States Secretary of State Blinken discussed military assistance to Ukraine, including Western tanks. Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba discussed military assistance with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. To summarize the results for you, Putin confronted his ally Turkey and their friendship was damaged. Russian naval dominance in the Black Sea has weakened. Russian people continue to protest against Putin. Bad news is constantly coming from the battlefield for Putin, while Ukraine is defending its country against invaders with successful operations every day. While Russia is facing economic difficulties, the whole world is supporting Ukraine. U.S. President Biden says he will support Ukraine until the end. The U.S. people may face inflation and economic crisis as a result of this financial support. The war has caused an economic crisis all over the world. Apart from the United States, Turkey and European countries are also on the Ukrainian side with this support. Ukraine is pushing back Putin's invading troops but never stops the war. How long do you think Putin will continue the war? Does Putin, who confronts so many countries, want to fight the whole world? We will be grateful if you express your comments.